Great. And just to sort of needle into a particular aspect that you've spoken about so far, which is about staying relevant. Now, how do you think a brand, whether it's a big brand or a small up and coming startup, how do you think such a brand can really cultivate or understand who their actual customer is? And how do you think they can really position themselves correctly in the market?
Well, actually, in an ideal situation, a brand or a product should emerge from the needs of a particular target group. So if you start your company because you have a product and an idea, and then you go out there and try to find someone who could need it or use it, then you're doing it wrong from the get-go. So the solution for starting a successful business is actually identifying a possible need or identifying an opportunity. It doesn't have to be a problem that you solve. It might be an opportunity that you encounter that can be generated within a particular target group. So then the relevance for your offering comes at the core, at how you define the mission of your company. Then the rest is as simple as just creating an amazing product or solution to actually tackle that opportunity or solve that problem. But if you found, and this is something that went quite wrong at the very beginning of the whole blockchain revolution, and we saw the consequences of that, where you had a ton of founders that were still, and I was making a joke about this the other day, I've encountered an incredible amount of founders that are still today looking for a problem for their blockchain solution, right? If you need to find a problem and find a target group to adopt a relevance for your solution, for your product, then you're doing it upside down, and you are likely to fail.
So always begin with validating the actual problem that you are solving before you really dive deep into the solution. So
absolutely, you have to start with a particular person in mind that will later be interested in what it is you have to say. If you start with something that you think is interesting and then try to look for people who agree with you, you're not going to be as successful.
Sure, absolutely. Now, Herman, so just to dive in a little more into the marketing side of it, like we're talking about right now. So how does a brand or a company develop a winning digital and social media strategy?
Mm-hmm. The key, as well, as we said earlier, the key starts with thinking in experiences and to being customer driven, understanding the needs of the target. Now, once you come to develop the actual communications and strategy behind your digital channels and your social media activities and so on, what I would recommend, or what I usually try to say, is to try to think of what I call the digital marketing triumvirate. So think of understanding the needs in regards to content, in regards to channels, and in regards to interaction. So you identify, the way you go about it is you identify what are your business goals, and what are the target groups that will help you reaching those business goals. And based on that target group, you identify specifically what type of content and stories will they be interested in at what stage of their experience, thinking always of experiences, what channels are they going to be using along that experience, and what type of interaction and expectations we will have towards you alongside those experiences. And based on those, you end up defining not a specific strategy for social media or for your website or anything, but it all needs to be part of one single main experience that starts with the needs of the target group in regards to content, interaction, or engagement and channels, and then designs an experience that flows alongside how you're trying to get them from they've never heard about you to they are not only customers, but also even fans and or endorsers of your solution. So think of those three different pillars and build your strategy around those different pillars, and basically try to find ways to not use all the channels to tell the same story. That's another typical mistake that companies do. Is like, okay, we got LinkedIn, we got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got Instagram. So now we have something exciting to say about ourselves. We're launching our new beta product, so let's post that on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Insta, and it doesn't really, I'm talking about myself and I'm saying exactly the same on all the channels. That is not delivering a proper experience. That is not maximizing the use and the strategic need for each of the different channels that you have. And it's certainly not catering to the different needs and mindsets that people have when they are using these channels. So it's basically about turning it upside down, not talking about yourself, but talking about the needs of the target and trying to think into that experience, chunk into the different channels across that experience that you're trying to design and to define. That is how you build a winning strategy for digital communications and social media.